Good day and welcome to Glory Global News, your trusted source for timely, accurate, and unbiased news from around the world. I'm Glory, and we're glad to have you with us today. At Glory Global News, we are committed to bringing you the latest headlines, breaking stories, and in-depth reports that matter most locally, nationally, and globally, from politics and business to technology, security, and human interest stories. Our goal is to keep you informed, empowered, and ahead of the news as it happens. Thank you for choosing Glory Global News as your daily news companion. Stay with us as we bring you today's top stories. House poised to vote on controversial SAVE Act election bill. Washington, D.C., February 11, 2026. The Republican-led U.S. House of Representatives is advancing a highly contentious elections bill known as the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility SAVE Act, setting up a critical vote that could reshape federal election rules ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. The legislation, which has already passed the House once before, would dramatically change how Americans register to vote by imposing strict proof of citizenship requirements for voter registration. Under the bill's provisions, individuals would need to present documentary evidence such as a valid U.S. passport, certified birth certificate, or other government-issued proof before they could be added to federal voter rolls. Republican push for election integrity. Republican lawmakers argue the SAVE Act is necessary to strengthen confidence in U.S. elections and ensure that only citizens participate in federal voting processes. Supporters contend the bill would close gaps in the current system by preventing non-citizens from registering to vote. Speaker of the House and GOP leaders have framed the legislation as a response to public concerns about election security. Even though studies and election officials have found widespread voter fraud to be extremely rare, critics warn of voter disenfranchisement, and voting rights advocates have condemned the bill as a voter suppression measure that could disenfranchise millions of eligible Americans. Opponents point to practical barriers such as lack of ready access to passports or birth certificates for many citizens, challenges for people who have changed their names, for example, after marriage, obstacles for elderly, low-income, rural, or transient voters. Civil rights groups have also warned that the bill's documentation requirements and potential restrictions on voter registration methods, including mail-in online systems, could create significant hurdles for participation in elections. Legislative history and process. The SAVE Act, formerly designated H.R. 22, was introduced in the 119th Congress with broad Republican sponsorship and has already passed the House once by a vote of 220-208 in April 2025, with a handful of Democrats joining Republicans in support. Though it cleared the House previously, the bill stalled in the Senate amid opposition and procedural hurdles. Republicans are now pushing to bring it back to the floor as part of a broader agenda on elections and voting rules ahead of the midterms. Senate outlook. The SAVE Act faces an uncertain future in the Senate, where it would likely need at least 60 votes to overcome a filibuster, a threshold that is difficult for Republicans to achieve without significant Democratic support. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and other Senate Democrats have signaled strong resistance to the bill, arguing that it would restrict access to the ballot box rather than protect election integrity. Broader context. The renewed push for the SAVE Act comes amid a wider national conversation about election procedures and voter access. Other related proposals under discussion include additional federal election-related restrictions and debates over mail-in ballots, voting identification policies, and state versus federal control over election administration. As the House prepares to vote, the political stakes remain high. Supporters portray the bill as a necessary safeguard for election security, while critics see it as a partisan effort that could depress turnout and disproportionately affect communities already facing barriers to voting. That brings us to the end of today's program on Glory Global News. Thank you for staying with us and for trusting us as your reliable source of news and information. We appreciate your time and continued support. If you found today's broadcast informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. On behalf of the entire Glory Global News team, I'm Glory. Stay informed, stay safe, and keep moving forward. Until next time, goodbye.